we stick with that, bid specs and all the stuff that they keep coming back with, we just negate that and just do it the way.
That's what I'm saying. We put a system so it's apples to apples. Everybody's bidding it to do it this way.
Yeah, they're not coming out and looking at it themselves because we're the ones telling them.
Well, usually they'll come look at it, or you can have a bid walk where all bid interested parties come look at it at one time, and then you can explain. And like I say, I mean, if you want, I'll act as a roof consultant for no charge. I mean, I can meet contractors out here all at once and walk the whole thing and say, here's what we want done, and if somebody wants to make a suggestion, you know, do all bidders agree that that's something that should be done, then let's all include it, or that kind of thing. But
conflict issues.
Compare the package.
no, I'm not going to bid it.
No, I don't, but just him being there to walk them through, that's not an issue, you know.
Okay.
I mean, it shouldn't be an issue if I was bidding it. But
I disagree with you on that one, but
yeah,
ultimately, no.
I know somebody that would.
Yeah, I have to.
Yeah. But
So do we have a motion to?
I'll make that motion, and we go out and seek bids, we direct staff to go out, seek bids for and I'm talking about the entire two buildings.
second.
We have a motion and a second to direct staff to develop bid documents and seek bids for the repairs to the city hall and annex roofs. Is there any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
None of this money's gonna come out of what we were gonna do for road repair, though. That's the
It
bond.
would,
That is
it's
the
coming,
bond.
if we spend it, it's coming out of the city.
Okay.
Which we originally had 1.9 million in building improvements in.
Yeah.
And I guess, we can, so the motion.
Because that's where I'm confused, I thought we'd already agreed. We haven't accepted any.
Yeah, so.
No, we hadn't accepted it.
So if it comes back much higher than what we think,
Right, and I,
plan B.
and to what you're speaking of, so we left all of that in there as an option, but no, I still, just me personally, and famous Herman words, I don't have a vote, but I don't agree that any of that money should be used for, you know, if we figure out a way to have if we're upgrading for council chambers or stuff like that, I don't think that money should come out of there at all. I do think the roof's kind of a different animal. We need it, we're damaging an asset, so I'm with you on trying to guard as much as that possible for streets, but I do think, assuming nothing exorbitant comes back here that's way out of what we think it is, I think that I think this is a more than valid use of this, because it's just gonna be more expensive. All right, so the motion did carry, so we will move to item number 10, which is discussion and/or action as requested by Mayor Pro Tem to install a speed bump at the stop bar located at 2101 Sansom Circle, where Sansom Circle intersects with Yale Street. So we talked about this the last meeting, but
I apologize to everybody now that I was not here.
that's okay. So I'll let you have the floor.
So
You've never needed to have permission to have the floor.
I'll just take over, Don. I get abused here. Y'all only got to put up with me a couple more months. So we have an ongoing problem there with this particular stop sign being ran, and after talking to the chief, we actually talked about putting a speed bump there, and I understand that Dan went up there and looked at it, which I always appreciate that input. I didn't see what you saw that I'm getting secondhand. I understand that you thought the mailboxes were in the way. I firmly believe that it is, it's definitely not all people that don't see it. There may be some of that, but I definitely sit there and watch them looking to see if anybody's coming or slowing down before they gas it. But it's...
And to speak on that part, I did make a point of driving down there since the last meeting, and to me, I think that sign's visible enough as it is, and I'm not...
They're 5 blocks down in my tracks, I can see it. Plus, there is a sign that warning you of a stop sign, but it doesn't say it. Like on Yale, they have a sign that says stop ahead. This just has the sign, just, the yellow with the red. how far down is that? That's 5 lots down.
It's a ways.
Yeah, but it doesn't say underneath it, stop ahead.
Okay.
Sign of the stop sign.
Yeah, it's just the sign of the stop.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so to me, instead of dragging this all out, I would just say that, first of all, we're talking about the modern day, speed bumps. We looked at some in particular over by Lake Worth. I went and drove on those. They're not like the old speed bumps that are this thick.
You drag the bottom of your car.
And in reality, in my truck, which is not a four-wheel drive truck, but it is a truck, I was able to go over them at 30 miles an hour. So in some sense, it could be said they don't do any good, but I still think that just seeing it come up is going to make people at least slow down more than they do. It's very dangerous, and if one person gets hit, it's a big deal. If it's me or my wife, it's a real big deal.
Oh, yeah. This almost happened the other day. A girl was crossing that road. I live right down the street from him. And it was at night, and he punched. I don't even know if he stopped because he was going really fast. And she was crossing the street right by my mailbox. And she was like, I am so glad I was in the middle of the street because he would have killed her. I mean, that's how fast he was going. And she was wearing all black, which that didn't help.
Well, so I know usually the people that don't want it is usually because of emergency vehicles, and I get that. This is 1 block from the city limit, to where, to me, my thoughts are the number of times that anybody would, you'd have to be out of the city and get a call coming in before you would go there. We still have the Yale as an alternative for that as well. So it seems like it's not going to affect very many people, so I don't see a reason to not do it.
Well, I said a couple weeks ago, generally, I think we're all opposed to speed bumps in most situations. To me, this being a place where people have to stop anyway is a different animal than just putting them out in the middle of the streets to mitigate speed issues. So I have no issue with this, even if I don't want speed bumps popping up all over town.
And I don't either. So let that be done.
Well, this is a road that angles in. It's not a 4-way stop, so you're not having to look right at all. You're just looking to the left. There's nobody coming. I got no reason to stop. And the Eads family used to live across the street from there, and their cars got hit several times. I know when I went to school with them, they would all lose cars because people turned and couldn't make the turn.
I mean, that's one thing that amazed me about moving to River Oaks. I started out thinking it was a River Oaks thing. I've never seen so many people run stop signs in my whole life. And someone, my kids, brought to my attention that it was more of a generational thing than it is a city thing. You know what I'm saying? That just there's more young people that don't treat it the same.
What's that supposed to
I'm not calling you young, you old.
But what about the rumble strip part? Working with them before you got there.
So, to me, that makes it somebody aware that it's there, but I don't think that's the issue. I think people are running it on purpose.
Well, that's true. They are running it on purpose.
So the rumble strip just makes somebody aware if they don't know there's a stop sign there.
It's just like the other stop signs we put up. They do not stop there.
And that's been the amazing thing, too.
Yeah, I have,
Just to that stop sign, I'll go back to my original argument. I'm against speed bumps. We got enough problems with roads out here. I don't think they work. Fort Worth spent a ton of money. I researched it online again and looked back at all the money that they spent to put them in and got so much flack. The people that wanted them had then petitioned the city to take them back out, and they spent an exorbitant amount of money taking them back out in a lot of the neighborhoods. And the problem is that I see, especially at the old time, is that when they're first painted and you can actually see them and people see them, but then that paint fades, people don't see them and they just run and then they hit them and they realize then after they're already over them that they're actually there. I don't mind
make them like
those.
that. It's the black ones, the ones that they're not painted.
Anybody that does anything to their car on this speed bump, it's at a stop sign anyway. So, I mean, to me, that's the difference. It's not just a matter of whether they needed to slow down